Hello and welcome to Under Development. This is the podcast that I always promised would bring out the more challenging side of property development. So we like to get underneath the bonnet of the delays, kind of lenders that maybe not given us the finance that we want. You've got lawyers saying no to things that we want to say yes to. We've got estate agents telling us that the property is not worth what we thought it was going to be worth. All the different challenges that nobody really hears about. And all my guests have got like real life experiences of this. And we've all gone into property development thinking it's going to be smooth, it's going to be gentle, but it's not. Not that we would change anything that we would do, but I think it's important that we really help get the message out there about the different challenges that we see. We've decided to record today on the hottest day of the year so far. It's very warm in this room, but I would like to quickly introduce our guest, Thomas Davenport, who's actually come all the way from Somerset, so a good 2-hour drive with wifey in the corner. So I want to get a bit behind who Thomas was before property and then what took him into this property world. And actually there's some live experiences right now of some delays that he's had in some of the projects that he's got going. So thank you for coming all this way.
No, it's a pleasure.
So you've not always been in property.
No.
What were you before that?
As you mentioned, I was in the police force. Then before that, I was a driving instructor. So, yeah, I've not been in the construction industry much, to be fair. I've done a bit of groundworks when I was younger. But, yeah, I was a police officer for a few years, and then I sort of jumped straight into property, really.
So you're in the police.
Yep.
Out on the streets, keeping us all safe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have something in your head that said, let's go into property?
I think it's always been passion of mine. I've always wanted to be a property developer. So ever since I was little, I always wanted to turn up onto my site, knowing that I'm the developer and so forth. So I've always kind of in the back of my head wanted to work towards that. It was just knowing how to sort of navigate to get there, really.
Yeah.
So
and how did you do that navigation? How did you get yourself from there to here?
So we've had our own property, and then I was always in the same sort of mind frame where you need to buy a house, do it up, sell it like the old fashioned way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just, from socials, started following a few people. And then I found my mentor, followed him, done a bit of training with him. And then it just sort of light bulb moments, how to use development finance and so forth.
Okay. And then who's your mentor?
Andrew Hubbard.
Okay.
So yeah, he's been in property development for about 6 to 10 years, but he's got about 30 odd years building experience. So yeah, he's done quite a few flips and he's done quite a few new build properties, that sort of stuff. So
and it's key, isn't it, to have your mentor and some education behind you?
100%. I mean, I don't feel I wouldn't be here where I am now without his guidance. 100%.
Yeah.
It's because they're not there to do the work for you; they're there to guide you and help you. So and avoid costly mistakes, basically. So it's fast tracking you to where you want to be.
Absolutely. So I've been following you, and that's how we kind of got connected. Your story, and I think the one that really stood out for me, Thomas, was the frustration with the lenders and your lawyers.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Which one? So
probably both.
There's
really.
been a few of recent ones. We've had. So our new build site, we had a few delays at the beginning. So we had some professionals, so QS and valuations that took a lot longer than anticipated. Then we had some solicitor issues where I think the communication wasn't there in their office.
Yeah.
Making delays, lender solicitors asking for stuff more than twice that we've already sent them. So that ultimately pushes our bill up.
Yeah.
Time frame as well.
Yeah.
And then
do you think it was to do with the site as well, or was it just the admin behind the scenes not working as smoothly?
I think looking back at it, there is some admin kind of stuff. So especially when they're repeatedly asking for stuff that we've already sent them, that kind of stuff. Deals, I mean, multiple deals, different deals we've had where it's been a bit more complex can take it a bit longer. But I think on that occasion, it's probably admin sort of side of things.
So how did you overcome those challenges? How did you because you've probably got a team waiting to go off and do the work. Mm-hmm. How are you keeping them motivated and informed?
So the teams we're just being honest with them, basically, just saying, look, we've got these delays, but in regards to the professionals, it's literally chasing and pushing every day. Like you just have to. I mean, as soon as you take your foot off the gas with pressure, they use it and they just make more delays.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I mean, on the other one, it was just from the lender point again, communication, and they've openly said that to us. There's been bad communication in that on their side, so that's been a big delay.
Yeah. Okay. And then have you come across where you're with an investor? So you think you're fully steam ahead to get the project done. You've got all the capital funding that you need. You've got your developing finance that you need. And then your investor drops out.
Yeah. We had one. When was it? It's probably a couple of years back now. So it was a barn conversion site. It was for new builds. So we went along the whole process. We had lending in place. We're literally 2 weeks away from completing. Everything was in place. Investors turn around. We want more money.
Yeah.
We want a higher percentage.
Right. And did they ask that because there'd been a delay since you're signing the contract with them?
No.
They've just been greedy.
Basically, it was a combination of 3 investors. So it was 2. Then they brought another one in.
Right.
And then that last one wanted to change the terms.
Okay.
Which then pushed the others too. Which, yeah, it was quite. Even though I try and make things as fair as possible, so investors come in, we normally go 50-50 and so forth. But they wanted a lot more.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that made the deal.
Yeah.
Fall through.
That's a shame. Were you emotionally attached to that deal?
Yes, because obviously invested a lot of money. It was going to be, it was an impressive site as well. It was going to be like a flagship sort of development as well. Lovely location, beautiful, stunning homes as well. And it was like, yeah, really looking forward to getting this one done. And then, it was a shame.
And what do you think the biggest lesson for you on that basis was?
Maybe I was a bit relaxed with obviously working with the investors, so maybe get them tied in a lot sooner. Probably, and just I think that's probably the biggest one. Get them tied down earlier.
Because we're doing that. I mean, we were very fortunate to have an investor that was going to put in all the money for the private capital, and unfortunately, we lost him. So now we've had to go back out. And although we're not ready to draw down on monies probably until about September, we've already got them signing their contracts at the deal that and they're all on the same terms.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse, is there?
Because obviously, once you know you've got that in place, you know the project's it's there. You're not having to worry about getting the signed documents a week before completing, which is probably, in hindsight, what I should have done.
Yeah. Okay. So the project that you're working on now, again, is a barn conversion. Is that your kind of standard strategy?
Yes. So that's what I want to try and specialise in. 1, I've got a big passion for it. 2, there's loads of them in my area. And I think 3, a lot of people are scared of them. They don't tend to get a lot of people doing them. And they tend to be quite a good deal stacker. Yeah. So.
And they're listed, some of the ones you're working with?
One of them's listed by, so it's not the actual listed building, it's next door's listed. So it's basically the outside's got to stay the same. So we've still got to work with listed buildings and stuff.
Yeah, okay. And then, so what's the future look like for Temple, isn't it? Temple Developments.
Temple Developments Specialist, yeah. So we've got a few big projects coming up, which is barn conversions as well, some new build as well. So it's really just continuing this, building it bigger, building the team as well, and then just really being a specialist in barn conversions, and then ultimately look to sort of build a network of people that want to learn and help them as well.
So that's interesting. So what, 6 years you've been doing this?
This is going into my 5th year now.
5th year. And then you're talking about mentoring, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We were talking about that just at lunch, weren't we?
Yeah.
About how important it is. What do you think? So say you started your mentoring now and you got your first student. What would be your kind of first stance with them?
Understanding what they want from it, basically. If they're looking for the money, they need to understand it's going to be a long wait. There's a lot of lot of hurdles you're gonna have to come over. So it's understanding what they want to get out from it, and the reasoning why they want to choose property to go that way. Basically, I think that's a big important one for me.
And that's probably more so in the kind of conversions that you're doing rather than maybe a buy to let or rent to rent, etc. Because that's quite quick. I guess in some cases a lot quicker in turnaround.
Yeah. So it's a massive sort of longer process for what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So having looked at a site that we were going to demolish and put 2 ground ups on, we got caught by bats. Have you come across that in any of the conversions that you're doing?
We've not come across bats, but we've had to deal with bats. As in, every single building we need to look at has to have a bat survey.
Yeah.
So, obviously, bat surveys only last 12 months. So, if a process of purchasing a site takes longer than that, you're going to have to have new emergent surveys. Then, obviously, putting bat lofts and so forth as well. So, it's literally first thing I look at: ecology, structural, because most of the time the buildings are going to be staying there. So you need to think, right, when are we going to be looking at completing? What's the ecology say? I mean, if you get a bat fly past a barn, you're going to have to put a bat loft in.
Yeah.
It's normally...
And you're likely to go and get a bat around a barn, aren't you?
Especially, yeah. I mean, there's loads of... I think there's 18 different species in this country, and it's just, they're everywhere.
Yeah, it killed our deal, totally.
It can do.
Yeah, totally killed the deal. They found the bat poo.
Yeah.
And they said it could be, kind of 18 months before we get to the realms of where they would move away from their own home. And we just thought we can't sit on this money for 18 months, so killed the deal.
It can be a big one. So that's hence why it's one of the first things I look at.
Yeah.
So.
And what else would be challenges on a site like an old barn conversion?
Because
it's not for the faint-hearted.
No, it's not. It's you got to have. You even need to know what it entails to obviously redevelop a barn, or you need to know people that know what it takes. So structurally wise, what the building's made from, how secure it is, and just sort of thinking, what's the ground like? Is there ground investigations done? It really depends on how the barn's built. Yeah. So the new one we've got a combination of stonework, brickwork, timber, and cob.
Okay.
So a bit of everything really.
Yeah.
So you need to understand how structurally sound, for example, the cob is. At the back end of it, how are you going to sell it? Because obviously a lot of mortgages won't allow you to use cob, or they won't mortgage a cob house.
Yeah.
Warranty, will it be warranted if it's a structural wall? So yeah, there's lots of questions you need to ask yourself on what the barn's built by. And then
so how would you overcome that then? So say a certain percentage of it is cob.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you say, you've got the challenges from the mortgage companies or people wanting to get warranties or even insurance on them. Is that a deal you walk away from, or do you replace the cob, or do you overlay the cob?
It depends
How do you handle
on, one, is it structurally sound? So if it's not structurally sound, then you're obliged to obviously replace it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's listed, you might not be able to. So if you need repairing, you're going to need to find a specialist cob worker. And then I think ultimately it's who you're marketing for. So if it's a small house, say 300,000-400,000, a lot of the mainstream lenders are not going to be looking at this. Whereas if it's an upper sort of higher property, like 1 million plus, there's going to be more lenders out there for that, because obviously those properties they're around, they're everywhere, graded listed and stuff. So it's doable. I think you just need to know who your end market's for, and then the structure of it. How secure is it? Get your specialist team, like your architect, your structural engineer, to give you guidance, basically.
And then how do you assess who your end market will be? And does that come into your kind of criteria of, yes, it's a good deal or not a good deal, based on who you think may go and purchase that property after all the work that you've put in? Because you don't want it hanging around, right? No. This is not a retain strategy, is it?
No. So we build to sell. So you need to look, that's partly analysing of the deal. Yeah. So who the end market's going to be, what the location is, what the surrounding area is like. So there's a lot goes into that sort of side. to make sure you're targeting the right people. So
Yeah.
you don't want to be finding a property that's going to be $1 million plus in an area there where you're going to struggle to reach 400,000 because you're just going to lose money.
Yeah.
You're not going to sell it. So that's a really big part of where you're looking at the deal before obviously making an offer.
Okay. And then talking of analysing deals, we're all in this to make some money.
Of course.
Okay. So do you, again, kind of have a threshold or a criteria of what your minimum profit will be before you kind of decide whether you take on that deal or not on that deal?
Yes. So obviously working with development finance, they want to see a minimum 20 to 25% profit.
Yeah.
Sometimes after costs, sometimes before costs. So if it doesn't stack, you won't be able to get funding on it unless you're got loads of cash and you're able to work on the smaller margins, which obviously a lot of the bigger developers can. But when you're using development finance, I think minimum you have to be looking at 20%. And ultimately you want to make money. So
yeah.
And you've got to have contingencies, especially with barn conversions. So you can easily get to a point where you're spending more than you anticipated. So if there's a 10% increase in cost, which you should really have a 10% contingency. But if you then go above that, you're then taking a lot of your profit away.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure there's a decent bit there.
Yeah. And then when you agree the terms with your investors, then is that driven by what you're seeing in your analyzer that says, right, we've got X amount of profit here. So, after we then pay investors out, it will leave us as a business, say 250,000, or 500,000. What's your threshold as a business that you need to make that will help you then decide how much potentially you pay investors?
For me, I'm looking at 15%. So 15% profit from a deal, basically minimum, really. I don't really want to be going any lower than that. Because ultimately, as you said, we're in this to make money.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to provide a good living for my family and so forth. So it's, I think 15% is sort of where you want to be, for me anyway.
And have you been doing that kind of on an average?
Yeah, we're hitting sort of 15 plus.
Yeah, so that's good.
That's where the barn conversions kind of help, because a lot of the deals tend to stack quite well, especially with Class Q, because obviously there's normally motivated sellers. They're normally willing to wait a little bit longer. So you can get up some really good deals with them.
So for our audience that won't necessarily know what Class Q is, what is that?
Class Q is basically conversion of an existing building on farmland. So it's normally when you've got a solid structure, structurally sound with 3 solid walls and a roof, then it's normally able to get converted. So it can be block, brick, stone, timber, as long as it's structurally sound.
Yeah.
So,
okay. And again, then, when you're out searching for your sites, and I know a lot probably get brought to you, do you look for them with planning on, or do you go and get the planning, or do you have a mixture?
So when I first started, my mentor was saying to get going quick, go for something with planning.
Yeah.
It gets rid of a lot of the headache and uncertainty. So that's what I've been doing. And to be fair, a lot of the agents I work with, they tend to put the properties through Class Q anyway. So they come with planning. Sometimes you go for fallback as well.
Yeah.
I think of all of the ones I've secured and we've got in the pipeline have planning, apart from one where it did have planning. But because there was a change in the Class Q regulations, so you could do bigger areas, we've gone back into a bigger scheme.
Okay. And how is that going?
It's good. So it's a build site for 7 barns. So it did have planning for 2 big 5 beds. We've gone back in to do 7. So we've got 5 of the 7 back from planning now. We're just waiting for the last 2.
And that's to convert existing barns into these properties?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we've obviously got a hell of a lot of barns around here.
Yeah,
and I look at them. Yeah, I've seen a few just driving down. I'm sure you have. And I think this would be so good to do. But I don't know why. I think I'm more nervous on who could we sell them out to, and will we actually make any money on them?
Yeah.
How can I get over that worry on my side?
I think I'd like to speak to my agents who I'm looking to sell the properties with. So they're heavily involved in the analysing of it. Barns tend to go for premium, especially in Somerset, and I can imagine they probably do around here. They're very sought after because of what they are. And people want a bit of the countryside. They want a nice luxury house as well. So I think the necessity for them are going to be always there. So it's just speaking to your agents, making sure you've got a good agent who deals specially with barns and those kind of houses. Because there's a few out there that don't.
So they need to be specialists. Yeah.
So we work with a good one down our area that deals a lot with barn conversions.
Okay.
Big houses.
Okay. So just as we start to wrap up here then, Tom, we've got Temple Developments based in Somerset.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stay within that area? Or are you looking to expand out? Because you're going to become quite professional and specialist in barns.
Mm-hmm.
So a developer like me sees something here locally, never done it before. Will Temple be prepared to kind of, well, I guess almost consult in whether we should do it here or not?
Yeah, I mean, I work with a few JV partners all around the country, to be fair. So, and we've looked at deals in their area. It will just take me longer to analyse them because they're out of my zone. So I need to understand the market in that area. So it's not a no. It's more I need to make sure I can trust trades in the area. Find good reputable professional teams as well. So it's always something I look into. So one of our new build developments is about an hour and 20 minutes away from me.
Okay.
Down in Bridport.
So it's possible then?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, I'll always look at a deal if it's interesting, exciting, and then it's doable. Then I always try and look around.
Because I guess we may have some differences in labour costs.
Yes, that's the thing. So and materials. As well. So that's partly analysing, making sure I understand.
Yeah.
Obviously, Somerset's kind of high, so it does tend to translate quite well because obviously there's a lot of areas that are a lot less.
Yeah.
So it's just understanding the areas basically.
Okay, so we need to look out for Temple.
Yeah.
And if I find a barn, we need to call on you. I always ask my guests, just to kind of, we start to wrap up again. Somebody new coming into property, what would be your top 3 things that you would advise them to watch out for, be careful of, be kind of considered of?
I think one of the biggest things, which I see a lot, is don't come in expecting a quick buck because it takes a long time. So many people come in thinking they're going to make hundreds of thousands within 3 months. It's not. It takes years, especially when you're looking at these bigger projects. I mean, even when you get started on site, you still got to build the site to then see profits back in. You've got to invest money. So I think just one of them is be patient and try and be resilient because you're going to hit a lot of problems along the way.
That comes up a lot, resilience.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple times when I could have easily thought, actually, no, it's too much. But I'm quite stubborn. So I'm like, no, it's happening.
Yeah.
So it has been like a roller coaster. And it's just, you got to ride the storm basically.
Yeah.
And it will, if you think something's going to take 12 months, expect it to take 24.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it does.
Yeah.
And like my mentors always told me, it's a 3 to 5 year plan, these kind of developments. I mean, the flips can be quicker, but obviously you're looking at bigger profits on these kind of stuff. So, I think be patient, expect a long journey, and just build that resilience.
But don't give up.
And don't give up,
Don't give up.
Yeah, because obviously, ultimately, what you're chasing is worth it.
Yeah.
And like many people say, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And
absolutely.
it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not. But I enjoy
it's rewarding, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's really rewarding. So look, thank you for coming.
No, pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
I think it just shows us that, you've had this dream as a kid. You've gone and done other things like you're driving instructing, then you've gone into policing, but you've gone back to what your dream is. I think there's a lot of people out there that do listen to these podcasts and they've got it niggling in the back of their mind that they've always wanted to come into property. Why property drives people and kind of attracts people who we'll never know, but it just shows if you follow your dream, be resilient, be patient, hang in there, because it's not a quick turnaround, that it is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
So good. Thank you so much for coming.
No, pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.